have you noticed or have you heard from some of your clients, can it be too distracting for these super busy accountants and attorneys out there? Can it take away from their existing clients?
It doesn't have to. I think that's more of a fear and a mindset that they think in the on-Facebook. Now, certainly for those of us who are already on Facebook, we know that it can actually get very addicting, but it's only addictive because they're really wasting their time. They're not marketing themselves. They're too busy playing the games and doing all the silly things on Facebook, which quite frankly you can't get into on LinkedIn. So it's another reason for them to start with LinkedIn. But it doesn't need to be a distraction to their work environment because it's really a form of marketing themselves. So if they start actually culling out a half hour a day, which amounts to really 2-3 hours on a weekly basis, they can do so in a productive way. Quite honestly, they can schedule out a half an hour. And more importantly, it's their responsibility to do so. They're not bringing in new clients, well, they're not going to have the work to do so next month, next year.
Right, and you'll be on that, certainly will be on that partner track, that's for sure.
Oh, exactly. As a rainmaker or a junior associate, they should, of course, get permission to do so, but it's rather easy to convince the partners nowadays to say, hey, I need to dedicate some time to bring in business, and of course there are after-hours time to dedicate to practice development.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to do off hours, absolutely. Of course. Now, again, Vic is the author of the book, 365 Marketing Thumb Rules, Daily Reminders for Rainmakers. So you have 365, one for each and every day. Give us what you think is the #1 best of the 365.
It's funny. They're like little kids, so it's hard to say which is better or best. When I look at the book, it's amazing that I have dedicated quite without intention that most of the thumb rules, or not, I shouldn't say most, but a good majority of the thumb rules deal with asking questions. Because listening as a advisor in law or accounting or even marketing is probably our #1 skill set, is asking the right questions.
Right.
But of all the marketing thumb rules that I have in the book, the #1 that I tend to bring up most often to my clients is marketing thumb rule number 217.
217 people. Write that down. Go ahead.
Computerize your contact database. It's amazing how often I go to law firms, I go to accounting firms, and they're really staring at a Rolodex, a literal 80s, early 90s version of
Rolodex.
A real Rolodex.
I know they still made those, yeah.
Yeah, they're still in business because of these professional service firms.
Right.
And we need to computerize our contact database. We need to get all the contact information. Of course, we have the typical mailing address, but we want email addresses. And
Absolutely.
we want relevant information about the clients. If they're a business, we want relevant information, but people are people. And we want to understand what are their interests, what are their hobbies, when are their birthdays, what are their, what are their interests? Are they into golf? Are they into boating? We want to have that information.
Right.
That's how to make our newsletters, our blogs, our communications that much more relevant and infotaining. So computerize your database.
Because it's funny because you spend so much time gathering those cards, making those contacts and events, and now you don't have them properly organized.
Oh, we all come back from a networking event, a bar association, with a stack of business cards, and we,
Right.
kind of put it on our desk and get on to the quote-unquote more important things to do.
Right, exactly. Now, the show we only have 2 minutes left. For all the attorneys out there and accountants who are listening, they're working late or they're coming home on the LIE somewhere. If you had to kind of wrap up today's show in 3 things that you'd want any professional service firm to realize, 3 best practices for promoting their expertise.
Sure. #1 I mentioned, marketing thumb rule 217, computerize your database. The second, I would say, launch your newsletter/blog. It's one and the same thing. It takes the same amount of effort to do both, if not one. So you may as well have a blog and sound very novel and hip and innovative. And of course, the e-newsletter is a kind of a standby nowadays. The third aspect I would say that we didn't talk about, most of them are doing seminars in one way or another. They're having public speaking engagements either at a chamber of commerce or maybe a trade association. Record your seminars. Either audio record your seminars, you could easily put a lapel mic, a lavalier, and a digital recorder. And now, along with PowerPoint slides, you have an audio slideshow. For example, on my blog right now is an audio slideshow of marketing with LinkedIn. It's basically a PowerPoint synced with the audio of one of my recorded live seminars. If we could put a video camera up there, now it's even better because we like to watch TV more than listen to the radio, no offense. So from that aspect, video, of course, is even better than audio. But sometimes the logistics, quite frankly, get in the way of a seminar. So put a lapel mic, record your seminars, because now you have that for time immemorial. You can actually show what expertise you have.
Well, not only that, but then people get to experience your personality, your expertise in a quote-unquote kind of live setting.
Oh, absolutely. That's the number one thing I would say is bring out your personality. That if there's a fourth thing that I would mention, bring out the personality. Bring out your
Are you sure you want some of
side.
these attorneys to bring out the personality? I'm sorry. I couldn't
You can't resist, but quite frankly, as we know, most of the attorneys and CPAs out there are great family people. And they have wonderful hobbies. Maybe they have quirky personalities, and that's even the better. Because quite frankly, the more we can bring out our personal brand, the more we're distinguishing our practice.
And that's something literature will never do for you, you know, that a nice video clip on the website can.
You know, I hate to say that accounting is somewhat of a commodity, and quite frankly, you're not making up the law. So really, what do you have to distinguish your practice beyond your niche expertise and perhaps a target market? Well, it's your personality, your personal brand.
Well, Vic, I have to thank you. This has been a great show so far tonight. And you're listening to the Profit Express, folks, right here on 88.7 FM WRHU. And today's guest has been Vic Rajan. He's the founder of CoGrow's PracticeMarketingAdvisors.com. People are going to have questions for you, want to get in touch with you. How can they reach you?
Easiest is through direct phone number 516-642-4100. That's 516-642-4100. Or again, my email, Vic, V-I-K, at cogrow.com, COGROW.com.
Again, Vic, great show. Thanks so much for being on board the Profit Express today.
Thanks for having me.
And don't forget, he's also the author of a really good book for you service professionals out there, the 365 Marketing Thumb Rules Daily Reminders for Rainmakers. So again, folks, this has been the Profit Express. I'm your host, Tim Healy, on 88.7 FM WRHU. Remember to tune in each and every week from 6 to 7, so together we can create big-time profits for your business. And don't forget, I want to hear from you. Send those emails to profitexpress@wrhu.org. I will see you next Wednesday right here, 88.7 FM WRHU.